So, good afternoon, everybody. Another slightly sunny afternoon outside, so that's good. For our mini heat wave where it goes up to 24 degrees at the weekend. Woo! That would be fantastic. Um, right, we are going to do a quiz, but I was going to give the people who haven't turned up yet a little bit of time to get on because obviously they want to compete because whoever wins the quiz gets chocolate. Just saying. One of the things that came up this week, we're talking to a potential new client, which is a parish council, and they said they're still doing the ruminations at the committee about signing up, but they know they need to, but they're just going around a bit in circles. But they did send us the contract that they had for their previous parish clerk, which was 3 paragraphs, and less than half a page of A4. And that was written in 1998, where there is no way a contract should be 3 paragraphs that are less than half a page of A4. So if you find any contracts in your folders that are that long and are the only contract in there, you probably need to get in touch with us because we need to do something about it. They've got nothing in there and it's just ridiculous, really. I've seen contracts from 1974 that were longer than this one from 1998. It's ridiculous. So, and the other thing that's been coming up a little bit, talking to golf clubs and private sector this week, is people not realizing that they have to enroll for pensions. Now, I don't know how that's possible, but one company, very small, hadn't registered with HMRC for as an employer, which seems a bit strange that you would not think, oh, I'm employing somebody. What do I need to do? Let me go and Google that because the internet has been around for a while now. And then secondly, the pension. What do I need to do for the pension? So this person is now retiring and they've never made any pension contributions. So now it could be that they've never qualified. Absolutely. But at the moment, they don't actually know whether they qualified or not, or what they were doing because it was run by a committee of volunteers and nobody really wanted to do that boring stuff. So nobody did. So it's just making sure that that some of these compliance things, which are really quite important, because, for example, the pension thing, if he was entitled to be enrolled and he wasn't, that's £5,000 fine straight away. And there was a golf club actually back in 2017 who didn't do this, and they were getting a fine every quarter of £5,000 because they were just not getting it. And eventually the committee realised actually that the club manager was not doing their job and they were parted with and they signed up, etc., etc. But it can get really expensive really quickly if you're not fulfilling your obligations. So it's just actually, let's just do it because it's just quicker if we do it that way. Right. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the quiz. Like I said, it's going to be you get chocolate if you win. It's on Kahoot, which means it's not only the correct answer you're looking for the quickest correct answer. So you get points for being quick. So when I do this with my kids, even though I know all the answers, I just come last because they're so much quicker than I am. So we're going to try and do that. So I'm going to do a share screen. And we've got here. So it's the Kahoot. You should be able to see the Kahoot. So I didn't explain that at all, actually. If you use your smartphone to scan the QR code, this worked really well on the last talk I did. It will bring up the right page and then you can put in the PIN number and you should be in the right place straight away. Okay. You don't have to use your correct name if you don't want to. Okay, you can call yourself whatever you want as long as it's not rude. But if you would like the chocolate, if you give me your correct name, you've got a chance of actually getting them. I'm just saying. Right. So Melanie Drake has just joined us. Melanie, we're doing the quiz. So if you scan the QR code, you'll be on the right page to actually log in, and then you could win some more chocolate. That's good. Tomorrow I'm doing one for the CMAE on bullying. So I'm doing another Kahoot on that as well. And I'm like, it feels like ages since we've done a Kahoot, to be honest. So you see, there's all these people who, are logging in late, hoping that they've missed the quiz and that we'll have got it over with and they won't show us how much they don't know. But Turns out they can mean time. Paul, if you scan the QR code on the screen, you'll get to the right place, and then you can just log in with your name, and then you've got a chance of winning chocolates for being the quickest person to answer all the questions. Okay.
Can you do it directly from your phone? Because I can't scan my own phone, if you see what I mean.
If you go to the website, the kahoot.it on your phone and put in that PIN, it should say, do you want to enter a PIN number?
Okay.
Yeah. PGA Paul, in case there's a different Paul. Okay. That's fine. Okay, just give it a couple more seconds. And then we're going to start. Is it, Melanie, are you getting anywhere with logging in? Yeah, so when we've done these, so usually I do these quizzes face to face with chocolate. And I've got a 3 hour, the GCMA, so Golf Club Managers Association, have a 1 week course next week, and we're doing face to face training. So I get a whole 3 hours. And we do this quiz at the beginning of the 3 hours. And then at the end of the 3 hours, they have to put stuff in the right ranking and when it happens and how much it is, etc., etc. And it's always fascinating that we have gone over this information probably 3 times in those 3 hours, and you get to the end and the brain is just frazzled and nobody is getting it all right. And it's like, this is the stuff that we keep all the time, and obviously if we get all of the people on here who are on my team will obviously get 100%, but they'll let you have the chocolates, that's fine. But it's just being aware that it's actually not quite as straightforward as you might think, and it is a lot to do. So we'll do the start. And this is where I can't hear my computer. There we go. So according to the ACAS guidelines, when can you give an employee a verbal warning? And there are 4 options. You can choose one of them. Okay. And one of them is obviously correct. It's not the color green. I'm just saying, color green doesn't automatically mean that that is the right answer. So when is it under the ACAS guidelines that you can give an employee a verbal warning? And when everybody has answered, it will automatically end. There you go. Never, I am so chuffed. That is so good because, most of the time, most people don't do that. Very good. Unless, of course, you're in Northern Ireland, in which case you can give them an oral warning. They still have that. Okay. The statutory minimum notice period after 1 month is 1 week. True or false? Last few ones. It is true. So if you don't have anything in your contract, it's going to be 1 week. Cat is doing very well, then Nat, then PJ Ball. Okay. What's the latest that you can give a new employee a written contract? So one of those choices is correct. The law did change in 2020. And some of you might even know what it changed to. Last answer. Last person answer. Click on an answer. Ah. Yes. I am so chuffed. You guys are so much better than the people I usually have in my talks. This is fantastic. So Nat has moved up. Well done. True or false? A shop assistant in the pro shop. So pro shops are based at golf clubs. Can they be self-employed? True or false? Shop assistant in the pro shop can be self-employed. True or false? False, because they have to be there at set hours to work. They have to use your equipment. They have to follow your rules. They have to dress according to your standards. Therefore, they're not self-employed. Okay, Cat's gone back up again. PGA Paul's moved up, as has Melanie. Well done. The trial period or probationary period can be any length you want it to be. True or false? It is true that because the trial period has no basis in employment law whatsoever. So I'm going to say we might give half a mark to the falses. It can be any length up to 2 years, because under 2 years there's no protection from unfair dismissal. But you don't have to have one. It could be a week, it could be 3 months, it could be 6 months, it could be 2 years. But there's no legal requirement for any particular length. Okay. So Andy's just jumped up there. That's fantastic. Which of the following counts as a disability under the Equality Act 2010? So it's only one of them. And this is what leads to lots of discussions at the meetings. Only one of those counts as a disability under the Equality Act 2010. Last few seconds to give an answer. 5 seconds left. It is cancer. Very good. So stress at work has been decided at tribunal that it's definitely not, because it is situation specific, and a disability is something that affects your life long term, longer than 12 months. Okay, so stress at work, if you leave that work, you are not deemed to be stressed. Okay, being left-handed is not a disability, certainly not nowadays. Alcoholism is an addiction, and that was specifically excluded from the Equality Act 2010. But the illnesses that go with an addiction, well, with alcoholism particularly, like kidney disease, liver disease, those would be protected, but not the alcoholism itself. Okay, so Andy's at the top, great. How often do you have to do employee reviews? Every year, every 6 months, whenever you remember, never. I'm going to say, I feel obviously you guys, you all know me so much better than the people I usually give these talks to, because it's like, yes, you don't have to do employee reviews ever. There's best practice, but you don't ever have to do them. Okay. When does protection from discrimination start for a new employee? After 1 year, after their trial period ends, immediately, or after 2 years? It is immediately. Well done. Everybody got that right. Fantastic. This is going to be a lot closer than it usually is. Andy's still at the top. What's the maximum award that a company would have to pay if they lost a discrimination case at tribunal? They went all the way to tribunal and the judge said, yes, you did discriminate. How much would you have to pay? 10,000, a million, unlimited, or 1 year's pay? It is unlimited. This is why we're always so emphasizing, have they got a protected characteristic? Is there a potential of a discrimination claim? I'm going to say it's not usually as much as the sort of 3.5 million that the bankers got from the City of London, but it is, they can add on quite a lot of money. So Andy's still at the top. Well done. How long can employees self-certify their sickness leave for? 7 calendar days, 5 working days, 3 calendar days. They can't, they have to have a fit note. Last few seconds. It is 7 calendar days. So this is again something we usually talk about in the quiz, in the talks that I give. 5 working days. Now, is that Monday to Friday, or is it 5 of their working days? Or if the club's open all the time, is it any 5 working days? And it's exactly for that reason that we don't use the designation working days. We only use 7 calendar days. Then it's 7 calendar days, whether they were supposed to be working or not. That's why we use that designation and nothing else. Okay. Andy's still at the top. PGA Paul very close behind him. How much company sick pay or enhanced sick pay do you have to pay if you employ more than 5 staff? 1 week full, 1 week half, 1 month full, 1 month half, SSP, or depends on the contract? How much enhanced sick pay do you have to pay if you employ more than 5 staff? SFP is what you have to pay, okay, if they qualify. And it also depends what's in your contract. So both of those are correct, but it's looking at both of those together to see what they have. The fact that you've got more than 5 staff was a red herring. That's relevant to health and safety, but it's not relevant to employment law. Okay. Andy is still going well there. PJ Paul's chasing him. When do employees start earning annual holiday? After the trial period, from day one, after 1 year service, if they are performing well. Last 10 seconds. Last 5 seconds. Just need that last answer. It is from day one. Very good. I did speak to a potential client who stayed a potential client and never signed up with us. What a shame. Because they said, oh yeah, we don't let anybody have any holiday in the first year of employment. They can only have it from the second year. It's like, okay, we're not going to be working together. So Andy's still at the top, PJ Paul, very close behind. How much holiday are employees entitled to if they work 5 days a week? Is it 20 days plus 8 days bank holiday? This is multiple answers here, okay? 5.6 working weeks, 28 days, or 28 days including bank holidays. What are they entitled to? There's more than one answer here. I lost connection. My internet went, but it came back again. Right. All of those are correct because they are all the same, just differently phrased. So 20 days plus 8 days is 28 days. 28 days including bank holidays is the same as 20 days plus 8. 5.6 working weeks times 5 working days is 28 days and 28 days. So all of those are correct. Okay, so Andy's still at the top. Nat's moved up. Great. And now the last one. Employees with less than 2 years service can just be fired. True or false? Last 5 seconds. 2 more answers. It is true. Now, we've got 50-50 there, which is interesting because we had 10 people on the call and we've only got 8 answers. But they can just be fired. We obviously are looking at protected characteristics, but if there aren't any, you just say it's not working out, off you go. Whereas if they're over 2 years, that's never an option. So less than 2 years, they can just be fired. Okay, you don't have to do full disciplinary or anything. So we've got Andy at the top, and then Nat, and then Melanie. Which Melanie is that? Melanie Pointer or Melanie at King's Hill? No, not Melanie Pointer. I can see Melanie. Okay, so Melanie at King's Hill. Great. So let me stop sharing. Bing. So that was really good. Well done, everybody. I'm sorry you missed that, David. You would obviously have got 14 out of 14 and won all of that.
Yeah. No, I deliberately joined late so that I wouldn't embarrass myself.
Yes, indeed. So those are the basics that I go through when I'm talking to, club managers at golf clubs. And it's just quite scary sometimes how much these are the basics. This is not how do you do a disciplinary process. This is not how you do a good restructuring. This is not how you deal with sexual harassment claims. This is the nitty-gritty everyday stuff that needs to be known. So it's just making sure that your team knows it as well, so that there aren't any inadvertent issues with anything. That was good. That's really good. I will make sure that the right chocolates are sent out to people. That's good. Have you got any questions today? I can't see if anybody's on it. Lorraine. Yeah.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Yeah, so we've got an employee who's under 2 years service. They've just exceeded their club sick pay, so full sick pay, in their rolling absence year. But they've been off with kind of low depression. They've been signed off with a fit no, low mood and depression. They've requested to come back on reduced hours. So for the first week back, we reduced the hours to 20 per week rather than 40. He only worked 3 days that week because he said he wasn't feeling right to come in. We did it the second week again, and he's coming 1 day this week. But I wonder where we want to support him, obviously, but I wonder how far we can go with it, or when to stop, or if we're putting ourselves at any risk by carrying on any further.
So what were you thinking about supporting him? So I would be thinking about reducing those hours even further, really.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's just then 1 day a week. It's like, let's do 1 day a week, or let's do half a day or two half days. I don't know. And then see if that works. And then if that works for a couple of weeks, right, let's talk about adding a 3rd day and 4th day. There's no disadvantage for you doing that. That's what's called a phased return. That's absolutely fine. But I wouldn't pay him anything more than what he's entitled to with the SSP. So we can have a separate chat with that. But it's like absolutely worth going and saying, look, how can we change the hours? Is it too much on 1 day? How would it work better for you? And then see what you've got, because that works in your favor. Obviously, we are very caring employer, but it really is. That's what we need to do, is to talk to him and see what we can do. Yeah.
And is it enough just to confirm what we've verbally agreed in an email in writing?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you.
Okay. Melanie Pointer. Oh, sorry, I keep telling people on my screen. Hello.
Yes. Hello. Sorry. I have to say I got cut off on the internet, so I couldn't actually answer some of the questions. So
oh, okay. Yeah.
Just so everybody knows.
Sure.
Okay. So I've had a situation where somebody's come to me and they've got like financial troubles and what have you, and they need a raise. Okay, fair enough. But I was wondering, how much can you talk to somebody to help them on let's say, for example, they're having trouble making ends meet, and you think, well, actually, I could probably help them to budget, or to do things like that, or to whatever. Can you talk about stuff like that, or can you not? Can you only keep it like, this is what I can do at work? Or do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my feeling would be that you do need to keep a wall between you as the employer and the person as a friend, sort of thing. And actually to be going and saying, okay, have you spoken to somebody about budgeting and how to budget and how to manage stuff? Because there is a lot of advice out there now to actually then go and say and point them in that direction. So if they have to take the initiative to have that conversation with somebody else. And I don't think it's a good idea to have it with you, because you will then go through and say, well, you just do this. And they're like, yeah, that's great. And then they fail to do it. And then you're like, well, now I'm annoyed with you.
Okay. Okay. So on that note, then, they're not driving. We did talk about this because they need really to be driving, and they can't afford lessons or an old car. So how does it work? Am I able to sort of fund that and then get them to pay it back over a period of time? And is there a way to do it through work, or is that not a good thing?
Well, driving lessons, how long is it going to go on for? That's the thing. How long?
Do the intensive, you can do like 2 or 3 weeks intensive course.
Yes. And then what if they don't pass?
Oh, I think you get a reset in a week. But yeah, they've already done 20 hours driving, so I think they'll be all right. But yes, I get what you're saying.
Okay. So you can, but it would be then like a training cost repayment agreement. That we'll fund this, but you have to pass either at the first time or on the resit. Otherwise, we're going to take the money back straight away. Just being aware that they might actually, if they do fail, they might just resign with immediate effect, and then you don't have a lot of money to play with anyway. So just bearing worst case in mind, if they quit, would it be tragic? Would I be able to cope with that? And if you wouldn't, then don't be quite so generous.
Right. Well, okay. I think that's fine. So the training agreement, that wouldn't include the purchase of the car then?
No.
So, because I said about funding because it's the lessons they can't have, or the car. So I was thinking about how I could fund that and they pay me back, or is that not possible?
I'm going to say I'm getting a little bit of deja vu. Nadia.
Yeah, Mel, I would stay away from this. I don't have a better way of saying it. Just don't do it. But I want to just look at it from a different point of view for a moment. where you said they really should be driving. Were they not driving when you employed them and you employed them like that?
Yeah, but what
Because
happened? We had the conversation about it and said that, and she said, yes, I'm going to be learning and all the rest of it. I said, that's fine. It's fine for now, but you will need to do it as part of the position. It wasn't contractual.
No. And you have employed someone, sure, you spoke about it, but there might be a million other reasons why this person can't end up driving, apart from the fact that right now they obviously can't afford to drive. Even if you buy them a car and you get them lessons, can they afford fuel? Right? So you've employed someone who, for whatever reason, isn't driving, and with the promise that they will try to learn to drive. So I think you just need to kind of remember that, like, you can't enforce it on them now because you did employ them as not driving. Do you understand what I mean? I'm just looking at it from an employee's point of view, and that employee may be saying, no, actually, I don't want to take a loan from you to buy a car, or take a loan from you to get my lessons, or whatever. Actually, I just don't want to drive.
Okay, no, that's fine. Can I squish a very quick thing on the end? I know you have normal contracts and 0 hours, but what contract is it if you want somebody to be what's called on the bank? In other words, like a bank staff in a hospital or whatever, so you can call on them as and when. Is that still 0 hours, or is that a different
that's 0
contract?
hours. No, 0 hours.
Still 0 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I'm going to say, sorry, about the car thing. I had a discussion with, again, a potential client, and who never materialized, thankfully, into an actual client, probably because I was a bit too blunt. So I'm trying not to be blunt. But he wanted to hire somebody who would be perfect for the job. And he wanted to buy her a car to do and I'm like, why do you need to buy a car? Does she need that for the role? Oh, no, but she needs it to get to the office. Okay, well, where does she live? Well, she lives 100 miles away. Okay, and how often does she need to be in the office? Well, once a month. Sorry, so you're going to buy her a car so that she can, why don't you just pay for the taxi when she has to come in because she's working from home? Oh, yeah, well, she really needs a car anyway for her everyday life. Okay, well, why doesn't she buy a car? Oh, well, she's got a really bad credit record. Okay, and that's where you need to stop, because it's like and you're going to get the money back. Oh, well, no, I won't need to do that because she's going to be working with me for years, and it'll be fine. It's like, it won't be fine. This feels like very, very dubious ground here.
Yeah.
So that's all.
Yeah. It's not quite like that, but they are on a visa, so they're not here long term potentially. So
yeah, and everything is fine. It's like the classic lending money to your friend. Do it as long as you understand you might never ever see that again. That's the thing.
Yeah, I think it's a punt to try and keep someone in a position as well. So anyway, we'll see. Did that person get in touch with you?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
There you go. You can lead a horse to water.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Never mind. Thank you.
Any other questions? David McLaren, you look like you're a man with a purpose.
Have I put my hand up?
No, but you just look really dedicated.
I've sent you an email, but one of our council members came in about an hour ago telling me about a Supreme Court ruling yesterday that necessitates us allegedly, apparently, paying holiday pay to people based on hours worked, including overtime.
Yes, it's not a new thing.
It's not new. Okay. Is it just something else I haven't been doing here?
No, yeah, don't worry. Nobody really is doing it, but it is something that's supposed to be done. It is quite an old ruling, but it's just looking at what overtime payment you're actually making, you're paying, how much it gets more complicated, but is it regular overtime that they're missing out on when they go on holiday, or is it just voluntary occasional overtime? What is the system? So it's looking at each club on an individual basis. So yes, there is that ruling, but don't panic about it. We'll have a chat with you and just go through what's your situation there.
So it's that. So it's that rather than increasing somebody's holiday allowance based on working more than whatever number of hours a week. Is that right?
Yeah. So the holiday allowance that they accrue is due to whatever is in their contract, unless it's 0 hours, which, as we all know, is a whole different kettle of fish. But if they've got a 30-hour-a-week contract, they accrue 30 hours a week worth of holiday. Not 30 hours a week. That's not how I phrase it. They earn a pro rata amount based on the hours they've worked that are detailed in their contract.
Up to a maximum of? Sorry, I wasn't listening to part of your answer there, so I apologise. Up to a max? Is there a ceiling?
There is a ceiling, but so the ceiling is the full-time equivalent. So 28 days.
Okay, well, I think that's what this ruling is saying is not valid. It's not. If somebody's working if somebody's working 50 hours a week, then they receive extra holiday allowance.
No.
Yes.
No. No, but if you'd like to send us through, we're obviously going to go and do our little bit of research.
I've sent it through to you. All right.
Okay.
Can I ask a second question?
You
Just to underline our incompetence. So we need to launch an investigation in relation to a member of staff that we think might have been falsifying the amount of money received for food purchases.
Right, yeah.
And due to a combination of his manager and I guess now my incompetence, he doesn't yet have a contract because he's been sitting on my desk for over a week now, waiting for me to put together a contract, which I was going to do this week. But now that this has come to light, then what's your advice in terms of can we still deal with the incident in the way that we would in accordance with that? Yes. And secondly, should I just be procrastinating further in relation to issuing him a contract?
Yes.
Or not? Yes, I should procrastinate.
There's no point now in doing a contract.
Okay.
Sorry, Nadia.
No, I thought maybe we should point out that David is in Northern Ireland and it's okay to not yet have a contract. I was
in Newcastle yesterday watching us beat Paris Saint-Germain 4-1 in the Champions League, if anybody's interested in talking football. I'm sorry, obviously not. Carry on.
No, the only reason I'm pointing that out is because for employers who are not in Northern Ireland, your employees do need a contract on day one. But Northern Ireland, they still have a bit more time.
They have 2 months, 2 whole months.
He's been here for more than two. He's been here, I think, for maybe 8 or 9 months.
Wow. So we're also really close to that 1 year cutoff, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Yes. Stop looking disapprovingly at me, Nadia. I know that.
I think we're all looking at you disapprovingly, David.
That's fine.
It's not just Nadia. Fine. So what we'll be doing, as they're under 1 year, is that we would possibly not be going through the full disciplinary, but we would want to, at the termination conversation, be showing them the evidence as to why they've been dismissed, just head off any discrimination claims. But yeah, let's have a talk through what you've got as evidence, as opposed to we think. Yeah. And then we can talk through what the risks are of just dismissing.
Fine.
Yeah.
And that's notwithstanding me apologising to him last week over the fact that he said, well, where's my contract? And I said, I didn't know you had a contract. I will sort that out for you.
Well, you're just going to have to feel guilty till you go to the grave, I feel, at this stage. I don't think there's any way around that.
Well, that's a given anyway, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. Fine. You do know that we do this for you. We know you're busy.
I know.
Just give it to us and we'll do it. It's really...
No, you charge an extra 30 quid or something preposterous.
And what is your time worth, David? Your time is worth way more than that, isn't it? And your guilt, you'll never be able to sleep properly again. Now you haven't given them a contract, have you?
No, you're absolutely right. Thank you.
Okay, we'll speak to you separately. Okay.
Dear.
Oh dear, it's always fun and games here, isn't it? Yeah, it's lovely. Thank you. Right, everybody, have a lovely week. Enjoy your mini heat wave if you're in a part of the country that is lucky enough to get it.
Speak for yourselves.
Possibly not Northern Ireland. And
Paul has a question.
Sorry, Paul.
Sorry. So I have this assistant greenkeeper that we need to performance manage him.
Yeah.
Could I do is there a performance improvement plan thing in the UK? Concept.
Yeah, concept.
Because it's a general thing. It's not a written warning scenario. So I could put a performance improvement plan together. Yes,
and say you need to be doing this. And it would be in the meeting that you go through it with him. It's still that type of meeting. It's not as formal as a disciplinary, but you're going through, okay, this isn't working. Why isn't it working? Right, this is how we're going to help you. And this needs to get to this standard by this date. And then you put that in writing, say, we agreed, and they go, yes, I mean, you don't even need to get them to sign off on it. You would just issue it to say, we agreed on this, and we'll be reviewing it on a weekly basis, and then see how it goes. Yeah.
So in terms of, should I have the meeting first and go through all the things, then put it all in writing and then give it to you to have a look at?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
That would be the best way. I mean, we can have a discuss about what type of things it is and see which ones you should maybe focus on. Okay. Because sometimes there is quite a long list, and it's like, actually, you're just going to lose them after the 25th thing.
Well,
so
the good thing, it doesn't do very much, so that it's it'll be fairly simple.
Yeah.
In terms of that, so I think I'd be confident having the meeting with him initially, and then I'll get with you to, in terms of putting it so it's the right words, and right consequences and stuff like that.
Exactly. It would be really good if you record that meeting, just not necessarily for us to review at this stage, but just in case he comes back and says, you said I had to do this or you're going to fire me. It's like, I never said that. If we have the recording, so you would go in and you'd say, I'm going to record this so that I can concentrate on what we're talking about. You're welcome to record it too. It's not a secret meeting or anything.
Right.
And then go ahead. And if they say, oh, I don't want it recorded, then you might want to think about not going ahead at that point. You might want to say, okay, well, I'm going to have to leave it for now. I'm going to go and talk to HR and then I'll come back to you. And then we might make it a more formal meeting where we have more right, as it were, to record. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's always a sort of a red flag if people say, I don't want to be recorded. Like, why? What are you going to say? So, yes. Okay. Is that all right? Lovely. Okay. Well, everybody have a lovely week, and we'll see you back here next week. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching. If you want a free tribunal audit of your employment contract and handbook, click the link in the description below.